Hi everyone, this is the information for week 3. I hope you all are doing well and that you're enjoying the class. I'm looking over here to get the book that we're working with this week. Wow, I have been reading your blogs and I've graded all the blogs that have been posted in so far, and they have been so inspiring and really interesting to read and respond to. I've really enjoyed that. It's inspiring to me as a teacher to hear about what you're thinking and how you're thinking of the classroom and your own experiences. So thanks for sharing with me. It's been quite fun. I did set up a Facebook page for all of you to go to where we could maybe do some more interactive work. So there's a link on the website, a Facebook link. You could click that, but you would have to be logged into Facebook in order for the link to work. Or you could just go to Facebook and put in ENGL333 advanced comp for future teachers, and that should show up, and then you can join the page. You will only be able to see responses if you're joined to that page, and if you respond on that page, you will only see, your friends won't see all those responses. It stays contained there. So I thought that could be a way for us to communicate a little bit more together. So let's talk about this week first. So we, again, are in week 3, and if you go ahead and look at the website, you will be looking at a really interesting piece of work from this book, Creating Equitable Classrooms Through Action Research, that I worked with in my graduate degree in education. And it is really cool because it has all these action research studies where teachers actually go in the classroom and do research within their classroom to answer questions that they have instructionally about some of the things that their students are going through. So this is a really cool book. Here it is again if you're interested in it. I have put a PDF copy of Chapter 8, and I'm just looking through here really quick to get it. And Chapter 8 is called But We Want to Work with Our Friends. So it's really cool. I'm looking for it here, and I can't get to Chapter 8, and it's always... So We Want to Work with Our Friends. So this is the one you guys are going to look at. And this article is by Diane Kakari. This is a really interesting article and study because it deals with access and equity. The idea that we want to make everything accessible for students within the classroom. That isn't necessarily the same thing as equitable, right? So you want to give you want to give your students the same access, which we don't always have the same access, right? To supplies, text, technology, if that would be a pen, a piece of paper, a computer, an iPad. So access, and then equity, the idea of we want things to be equitable for students or fair. So Diane in this action research, and I don't really know her, so I shouldn't call her Diane. I don't think she's Dr. Kakari, but Diane Kakari in this article deals with her 6th grade classroom. And she's noticing some patterns and problems within the classroom regarding how students kind of separate themselves or clump, right? And according to gender and according to race, she's finding some disturbing patterns. And she does some I just read African American, I started to say that. She does some research about the different ethnicities and what students want to do. And it's really an interesting article, and I thought it would be a great way for us to think about access and equity within the classroom and how we deal with these issues, which we face in the classroom all the time. So that's the article. It's linked on the course calendar like the other articles. It's not quite as long, and it's set up as an action research plan, so it's set up a little bit more organized in sections, and so that makes it a little easier, I think, to get through. The blog is a little different this week. The blog that I'm having you do is really, truly reflective in nature, so you just thinking about past experiences, and it doesn't have to be connected to the reading. I want you to think about classroom experiences. I want you to reflect upon classroom experiences that worked, classroom experiences that you've had as a student that don't work or haven't worked. I'd like you to think about classroom experiences and thinking about how teachers tried to present curriculum to you. So what were the ways that they tried to engage you within the curriculum, and what ways work and what don't? A lot of my students will come in and they'll say, you know, I have all of my classes where they're just lecture. The teacher gets up there and they put PowerPoints on, you know, Blackboard, and I don't really even need to go to class. It's very different from how I run a class, which is pretty collaborative in nature and a lot of group work. And you have a different level of, I think, responsibility in those kind of classes. It can also be based upon content, like what are you trying to get the student to do? So I'd like you to think about your classroom experiences and what made them work and what didn't work. I mean, both of those are important. Part of being a really good teacher is being reflective in nature. Later on in the semester, we're going to look at my syllabi in English 130, the one that I use now, and we're going to look at some of my syllabi that I used at the beginning of my career teaching, and they're not as good. You know, it took me a while to kind of figure out what scaffolding is and how to manage the organization of the course and how do I present the material in a way that makes it easy for students to understand. So, you know, really important to start thinking about that now because, you know, people sometimes think that classrooms are like magic and they just happen. And like any other thing that we do in life, they tend to be strengthened the more you are reflective on how it's working. So I'm really thinking about reflectiveness within our classrooms, and one of the first places to start is what worked for you as a student, right? And that's really helpful. This worked, this didn't work, I like this, I didn't like this, and we all do it differently. So thinking about your classroom experiences is the blog for this week. It is again due by Tuesday at midnight. The micro theme is going back to the article and looking at aspects in the article that you can work with that will be interesting. One of the ways I want you to think about that is to look at her research and to think about how she looks at the information within the classroom and how she thinks about that classroom and reflects upon the issues that she's seen and what she does in order to fix or to augment some of the problems that she's seen within our classroom. So I'd like you to look more specifically at her work for the micro theme. Next week, I think, I'm going to look at the schedule here really quick. I just want to make sure that I'm correct. But yes, next week is Freedom Writers. It's a movie, which I think you guys have seen with Hilary Swank. And I'm thinking that next week I will offer maybe on Saturday a screening of the show. If you would email me and get back to me and let me know if you'd be interested in like a Saturday, maybe afternoon screening, I have the DVD, and we could maybe sit over here in Siskiyou in the big room and watch it maybe in the afternoon around 3-ish. Let me know if you're interested in that. Please email me if you are or aren't. And I can kind of get a feel for if we want to do a screening. We can eat some popcorn. And I thought that would be a really good chance for us to be in a room together and kind of talk about the coursework and what's going on within the class. And then I'm thinking maybe every other week on either a Friday or a Saturday, we might get together and have pizza or do something like that where we can kind of talk if you're local and you're interested. So those are some thoughts I have, and that should give you the information for the week. If you have any questions, send me an email. Remember that you have to do 10 blogs this semester. So many of you have done 2, so you could be working on your 3rd one. If you haven't done any, you're still okay at this point, right? We have about 16 weeks of instruction in the classroom. So you've got a little bit of freedom there, but I would get started on them right away. I can't, again, tell you how much I'm and I'm going to actually tell you how much I'm enjoying this class and how inspiring it is. Hopefully we can talk some more about it. And thank you for your effort so far. It's been really fun. I'm going to work on grading the papers this weekend. Hopefully you'll get some feedback on the papers pretty quickly. Okay, have a great day, you guys. I'll talk with you soon. Bye.